Before anyone says, oh my god, Caitlin, your acne's cleared up, I'm wearing spot concealer. Wanted to get that out of the way first of all. I've been doing some errands today. I've had a very, very busy day, and so this video may be a little bit late. But that's okay. That's all right. I'm pre-filming now. I'm getting into the swing of it again. It's been a crazy few days, but you know what? We're good. We're good. I'm not good though. I'm not good. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sick to death and I need to rant. Because what the hell is going on? I don't know. What the hell is going on? I am possibly being diagnosed with endometriosis, hopefully soon, but I've been battling this for like 3 years, and I've only just been referred to a gyno. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about, you know, trigger warning, and not really trigger warning, because like you shouldn't be triggered by women talking about their periods. But if you just don't fancy that today, I'm going to be talking about periods. I'm going to be talking about SDX. I'm going to be talking about adult woman health stuff. So if you don't really fancy that today, that is all right. I'm not going to say trigger warning because we're all adults. I'm going to do my makeup. I'm going to have a good old time. I'm going to try not to die. I'm going to try not to cramp and spew and bleed everywhere. And so cheers, like and subscribe. What an intro. What an intro. Normally, I am a little bit more, I don't want to say family friendly, because again, women talking about their health is not 18, is it? But I'm normally a bit more lighthearted. But you know what? I'm sick to death. And I didn't realise how many women suffered with endometriosis and PCOS and things like that. And so I want to talk about it. I want to be open about it. And I want to just talk because I think I needed this video when I was first getting started in my journey. I want to tell you all my symptoms. I want to tell you my journey so far because it has been a nightmare. And if you are going through these symptoms and you think you're crazy, then you're not crazy, okay? This video is for you. Don't worry. We're all friends here. Let's go. Oh, I laughed and yeah. Okay. I've been going to the doctors about my womanly issues for, guess how long? 3 years. Yeah, 3 years. I first went to the doctor 3 years ago because I had been bleeding, like day one bleeding, for 3 months, and I thought, you know what, this is not quite right. I don't think this is right, to be honest. So I hate going to the doctors about anything. I always think like, no, it's fine, I'll figure it out, I'll take paracetamol, you know, I'll figure it out, we'll not waste doctors' time. I have a massive thing about like wasting doctors' time. If I can sort it out myself, I will. I'd rather just wait it out on my own than have to go to the doctors about things because I don't know, there are people who really need those services and I don't want to have to be the person that takes up doctors' time with like a cold. You know, I'm kind of speaking to a guy right now who's a paramedic, and that has made this little line of thinking even worse because some of the stories he tells me about like little old Doris who phones the ambulance, says she's having a cardiac arrest, and then wants a TV change in channels. Like, you know what? Like, no, I can't do that. It makes me so mad. Like, I know that people have mental health problems, but like, please, can we stop phoning ambulances and go to the doctors for a chat? Like, there are people who really need it. So I went to the doctors. I was like, you know what? I need to go. I need to go to the doctors. I've been bleeding for 3 months straight. This is not really normal. And it was not the first time that I had done that. It's not the first time that I had just bled and bled and bled and bled and bled. So I thought, right, something's going on here. And it's not quite right. So for my eyeshadow, I'm going to use the Made by Mitchell palette that is currently in my No Pan Left Behind. This is the Blew Your Mind little quad, and I have mixed feelings about this palette, to be honest. I rolled it in to my No Pan Left Behind to just get a little bit of an understanding of it. And you know what? I think I can bash this out in one look. I have kind of planned a look that I think would use all of these shades, so I'm gonna do it. In this first doctor's appointment, I showed up. I was like, hey girly, it was my favourite doctor. I was like, hey girly, I'm back. I'm bleeding still. Like, what's going on? I'd had a phone conversation with her, like a week or two before, and I was like, yeah, what's the sitch? So she told me that it was probably due to my pill. Yeah, we'll get to that. I'm gonna go in with this teal shade. She said, you know what? It's probably because of your pill, because I am currently on the mini pill, not the estrogen pill, because I had a cheeky TIA back like 3 years ago. No, it would have been longer than that, like 4 years ago. Oh my god, that's crazy. I had a TIA and they had to take me off, obviously, the estrogen pill because I don't really want to have a full-on stroke, if I can help it. So they took me off, they put me on the mini pill, and I'd been absolutely fine, but then they did say that you can have some bleeding issues on the mini pill. So I was like, maybe this is it. And this is what the doctor said as well. Maybe this is like those bleeding issues. But then I was doing my own independent research and I was like, you only really have bleeding issues in the first like 6 months to a year on the pill. And I've been on this pill for years at this point. So any kind of side effects should have calmed down. So she was like, I don't know, have you thought about the coil? No, I'm not going on the coil. I've thought about it for 5 seconds, I'm not doing it. My best friend is actually having some serious issues on the coil right now, and I just can't do it. Like, oh no. The thought of having that ripping me open and clamping onto me, no, and I've heard horror stories about it. I'm not doing it. I don't want to do it. I'm sorry. No. So I'm not doing that. So she was like, yeah, it's probably your pill. It'll calm down in a little bit. Be on your merry way. She did do a physical exam, which is the most action I've had in so long. She just had a look. Nothing was there. I think she was looking for like ovarian whatever, like any like growths or any whatever. Nothing was there. It came up all clear. And she was like, yeah, it's just the pill. Bye. There was no real fix. It was just like, yeah, you're clear on that front. See ya. I was like, great, that's fabulous. So then my period from hell stopped. And I was like, you know what? We're good. So my periods have always been really sporadic anyway. I just start. There is no 28-day window for me. I just, surprise, it's here. It can be here for a week. It could be here for a month. It could be here for 4 months. Who knows? And then I could have, 3 months with no period and then it just comes up again. It is so ridiculously crazy that I don't know what the hell is going on. But that's just how it's been over the past few years, especially. And so that's how I kept going. There was an incident, and this might sound really like off topic for now, but trust me, we're going to head back to it. I'm going to go in with this like deep purple now. So again, this is a little bit, I'm a prude, okay? So I know, but bear with me, it's part of the story. I was with my ex, and this was years ago now. This is when I was in 2nd year uni, and I've been out of uni, I've been graduated for like 2 years now. So this was so long ago. We were in the bedroom and midway through this sesh, I had the worst cramp that you have ever imagined in your life. And it felt like a period cramp, but on steroids. It was the most painful thing I have ever experienced in my life. It was so bad, my jaw was literally shaking. My boyfriend at the time nearly phoned an ambulance for me because my jaw was literally shaking. I thought I was going to throw up. It was all-consuming pain. And I just couldn't do anything but just lie there and shake because it was so painful. And then it just went. And then it just disappeared. It was really odd because nothing like that happened again until about maybe like a year and a half later. And I was still, active, wink, wink, I was still doing stuff, but nothing like that happened again for the longest time. So then a year and a half later, I'm with a different partner, and again, out of nowhere, I just have this huge, cramping, and I cannot explain to you how horrendous this cramping was, and it was just all consuming. And it happened about 2 times in that relationship, and I was with that guy for about a year and a bit as well. So it wasn't a regular thing. It was always just after, you know, sex. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that with YouTube's rules, but it was always just after that. So I thought maybe it was some kind of muscle cramping. Maybe it was like because I'd, you know, been using those muscles, maybe like something had cramped or something. I don't know. That was my theory. That was my thought. And that kind of made sense to me. I'm looking very Monsters Inc. right now. We'll work with it. It's okay. So the reason I never went to the doctors about this is because it always happened, you know, after the deed. And I just thought it was, as I said, this kind of muscle spasmy thing, and that I kind of knew what it was, so I didn't really need help with it. I'd just kind of manage it on my own. I'd kind of have the expectation when things were getting hot and heavy that maybe this would happen. And, you know, I just used hot water bottles. I just used kind of paracetamol and ibuprofen and things like that and tried to calm it down myself. However, there came a day when that changed for me. So I'm going to go in with this lighter purple shade. I think just on the same brush, why not? So it was when I was working at my old office job, and I'd got up that morning, I'd done my makeup, there were no men in sight. I had to say that, right? No men in sight. I'd not been active in a while, and suddenly, out of nowhere, this cramping happened again. And as I said, the pattern had been broken. Like there was no one here. I was not having an early morning sesh. Like it was truly completely random. And it got so bad that I had to kneel down on my floor and put my arms on my bed and like just sit like that for about 10-15 minutes because this cramp, I couldn't walk, I couldn't stand up. I couldn't do anything but just sit on my floor and try not to cry because I'd just done my makeup, okay? I'm not crying. But it was the most pain that I have been in ever. I have not felt that level of pain in so long, and those cramps are absolutely debilitating. And so yeah, I just waited there for the longest time. And then I had to walk to work. I had to walk 20 to 30 minutes to work. Luckily, there's a shop like halfway. So I picked up some like extra strength paracetamol. And about halfway to work, again, another cramp hit me. And I just had to stand there, walking to work at like 8 in the morning, just stood on the side of the street, keeled over. And I just couldn't explain the pain that was happening right now. It was absolutely horrendous. So somehow I made it to work. I actually don't know how I got to work that morning. I got to work on time. How the hell? I do not know, but I did. I made it. And I worked with my best friend, and I remember telling my best friend what had happened, and I was like, this is debilitating. Like I could still kind of feel it in the office. It was definitely not as bad as it was, but I could kind of feel the like after effects of this cramping when I made it to the office, and it was just horrendous. And then later on that day, I thought this was completely unrelated, but after doing some research, I found out that this can also be a symptom of endometriosis. I was sat there doing my work. Again, this is TMI. This is so raw and real right now. I was sat there typing away at the office, and suddenly I thought, I need to go to the toilet now. Split second, I need to go to the toilet. Pronto. If I do not go to the toilet right now, I dread to think what will happen. So I run to the toilet, pray that no one is in the toilet. No one is in the toilet. And what came out? What came out was something from a horror film. Honestly, something from a horror film. It was bad. It was so bad. And I just didn't think that was related. But apparently that is related to endometriosis. Did not know that. Something else that I didn't know was related to endometriosis that's been plaguing my life is I've been suffering with chronic nausea. And my theory for the longest time, so I was on antibiotics for about 2 years for my skin, and I thought the antibiotics had messed with my gut health and had messed with that. So I thought that my chronic nausea was my antibiotics that I'd been on for so long. But no, apparently endometriosis, you can have chronic nausea as well. Who'd have thunk? Who'd have thunk? Not me. I will say, if you are struggling with chronic nausea, because that for me is the worst part about all this, it's the nausea. I'd say like 4 days a week, I would be at some point thinking like, where's the nearest toilet? Like, am I able to make it to that bin if I throw up right now? Like, the chronic nausea was awful. I don't like feeling sick anyway. Like, who does? You know, no one loves being sick. I have a fear of throwing up, and this chronic nausea really tested that. I'm looking for a little Pastel Roses flaky shade to use. Maybe Lynx. That's a kind of iridescent teal to pink. That's a possibility. I think I'm gonna go with Lynx. Why not? I don't know. I've been trying to get through using all of my Pastel Roses shades. And right now, obviously Lynx is today. I've used 1, 2, 3, 4. I thought I'd used a bit more than that. 1, 2, 3, yeah, 4. Oh well. I'll get there. I've got all of these left to go. I'll get there. I've been wanting to play around with them for so long, and you know what? I'm gonna do it. I love them so much, and so yes. I think part of the mental block of these is that like they are quite messy, but it's worth it. I am a bit worried that this is gonna pull very pink. Let's just try it. Oh yeah, that's pretty much just pink. Oh well, that's fine. Yeah, that's just pink. I wanted something a bit more teal. That's the thing with these shades, you don't really know what colour it's gonna be because they're so duochrome-y. You know what? It's okay. It pulls in with the purple. You know? Oh no, my brush just broke. Look! It's not broken, but the paint's Look! It's all coming off. Oh no! So, it was this little experience that made me phone the doctors again, because I'm not gonna lie to you guys, that was really quite scary. Those cramps, if you don't have endometriosis or anything like it, those cramps, I cannot explain the pain that those cramps are. Like, I just can't explain it. Like, I remember sitting, a cramp that I had recently, I was on the toilet, I'd like crawled onto the toilet because for some reason the toilet, like, I don't know, the kind of position that you're in on the toilet, it like helps me a little bit rather than just like lying down. So I was on the toilet. I just remember thinking, if this is what labor is like for like 12 hours, I can't do it. Like, I can't do it. And I spoke to my mum the next day and she was like, labor is not like that. Labor is nowhere near like that. So according to Lindsay Costello, it was worse than labor pains. I wouldn't know. I've never had a child. Sorry, that's a lie. I have had a child. He's called Stan. He's my dog. But I've never given birth. I go to the doctors again, right? Oh my God, these doctors. So I don't know where my girl went. Okay, my favourite doctor, I don't know where she went. I've never seen her again. And I'm actually really sad because I really like that woman. And I've never seen her again. I know that maybe in America you see the same doctor all the time. Like, do you have like your doctor? In the UK, or at least where I live, you just, it's the practice. That's your practice. That's your GP building. And you can see any doctor who works in that building at any time. Like, I don't know. So I got another appointment and I was like, girly, this hurts. I'm bleeding through my clothes. That's another point. I'm bleeding through my clothes regularly. So I have to pack a pair of black joggers in my handbag everywhere I go, just in case I bleed through my clothes. The amount of jeans that I've had to throw out because I'm not able to get the stains out is stupid. I think I'm going to use a mix of foundations today. I'm going to go in with the Uoma by Sharon C foundation. This is really full coverage, but it is a little bit dark for me. So I'm going to mix it in with my Mitchell Build foundation, which is like way too pale for me. So hopefully these two mixed together will make a good shade match. I used to mix this in with my Urban Decay All-Nighter. No, not All-Nighter. My Urban Decay Hydromaniac. You know, you say Urban Decay and your brain just fills in All-Nighter. Does anyone else do that? Like, I could be talking about anything, but if I say Urban Decay, I have to say All-Nighter at the end of it because that is a word in itself. No, Urban Decay Hydromaniac. So this was mixed in with that, but I have recently finished that foundation. So this one's on its own, baby. So I go to the doctor and she goes, okay, this is where the GPs start taking the absolute biscuit, okay? The absolute Mickey, because what the hell is going on? Okay, what the hell's going on? I saw in a video recently that it was like a meme and it was like British people put absolute in front of anything and it's instantly like an insult. Like the absolute door frame. Like, that's an insult. Like, you absolute door frame. Like, it's so true. And, yeah, absolute biscuit is my one. I go to the GP. She goes, when was your last STI check? And I was like, what? And she goes, yeah, you're cramping. It could be an STI. And I was like, oh dear. I don't want to do that again. I've been caught out with that one before. And I said, well, I've not had one in a while. And she was like, yeah, we'll do an STI check and we will get you an appointment for a ultrasound scan and we'll see what the dealio is there. I was like, okay, great. So my check came back fine. My STI check, I'm fine, I'm good. Remember this though, okay? Remember this. It's fine. It's on my medical record. I do not have anything like that. It is on my record. I've done a test very recently, and it is on my record to say it is fine. Please remember this, because the doctors do not. So then I go to my ultrasound scan, and while I'm waiting for the ultrasound appointment to come through, I do my own, like, research, and apparently you can't even find endometriosis on an ultrasound scan. So I think it was more so that they could rule out other things, just in case, I don't know, I had ovarian cysts or whatever, that it was more to rule out other stuff rather than to confirm endometriosis. But you know, okay, whatever. But remember that I have now had an STI test that has come back fine, and I have now had an ultrasound scan that, shock horror, came back absolutely fine. Please remember these things, okay? So I phone up and I'm like, so what now? Like, what now? I had to phone them up. So my results came back absolutely fine. And then they were like, yeah, you're fine. And I was like, yeah, but what next? Because that's not really the point. Like, we're trying to find, surely you don't just say, yeah, you're fine on those 2 counts, carry on. Like, we're in a mission here. We're doing a mission. Like, what's going on? And they were like, oh yeah, okay, anyway, let's put our thinking caps on. They then go, have you been sexually active between, like, now and your STI test? And I was like, no. They were like, we'll do another one. We'll do another one, just to make sure. I was like, I don't know if you're calling me, a promiscuous lady, or, like, what is going on, but I had to do another one. Shock horror. Came back absolutely fine. Of course it did. And then they said, you know what, we'll give you a blood test just to see if there's anything in the blood going on. I was like, right, okay. I hate blood tests so goddamn much. I hate them so much. I hate them. But I was a big girl. I went for my blood tests and I sat and I waited for the results. Now, this is where it gets ridiculous. Because my theory is, right, the doctors have been sat in, like, the lunchroom, right, allegedly, this is my funny story that I'm telling myself, the doctors have been sat in their lunchroom, in their break room, they've been talking about me. And they've been like, this Caitlin Costello, what's going on with her? And they have placed bets on the fact that it is an STI. Because the amount of STI tests I've had to do is stupid, okay? Right, anyway. So I get a phone call about a week later. And it's this woman. And she goes, hiya, so I have your blood results. And I was like, okay, what are they? And she says, you're quite low on iron. And I've had an iron deficiency before. And I was like, okay, that doesn't really shock me. And she said, yeah, everything other than that is pretty fine. And I was like, okay, so what's happening with my cramping and my possible endometriosis? Because at this point I was like, I think I'm positive I have endometriosis because I have looked into it myself and I've tried my best to do my own research. This doctor on the phone turns round to me. I actually, I cannot believe this. And it gets even more horrendous later on in the story. This doctor turns around to me and goes, oh, those debilitating cramps and the chronic nausea and the, diarrhea. Yeah, that's caused by an iron deficiency. And I went, are you sure? Are you positive? And she's like, yeah. So anemia actually causes all of those symptoms. And so it's anemia. That's what it is. All of this that is happening to you is anemia. And bear in mind, I've been anemic before. In college, I was on those little red iron capsules that they've put me on again. And I said to them, I was not like this before. When I had anemia before, I did not have any of these problems. And she was like, yeah, no, it's definitely anemia. No worries about it. I prescribed you these iron tablets and off you pop. Have fun. You're anemic. I was like, fantastic. I know for a fact that is incorrect. Why does my foundation look like that? It looks dry. It's that damn Mitchell. Anyway, I'm not in the mood to take it off and put it back on. So we've got dry foundation for the rest of the day. That is fine. That is fantastic. Just what I want. So, I'm not a doctor, but I know in my heart of hearts that it's not just anemia. It is not just anemia. The cramping that I get is absolutely, I cannot describe it to you. It is the worst pain I've ever been in my life. I've got all of these symptoms of endometriosis. You cannot turn around and just be like, yeah, it's anemia. It's just anemia. What? I'm not having it. I'm sorry, I'm not having it. I'm going to use my Nabla concealer today. This is the close-up concealer. I am interested in doing a full face of Nabla, so definitely let me know if you're interested in that. I did recently make an order for the new foundation and contour stick, so I'll have them in the mail soon as well. I think Nabla's a pretty underrated brand, to be honest, so I'm just gonna boop boop. So I thought, you know what? The only thing I can do right now is just play their game. That's the only thing I can do. Just play their game and hope for the best. Because I know that that is false. I know that it is not just anemia. And if you're sat there currently thinking Caitlin, it might be anemia actually, just wait, hold on girl, because the story's not over yet. So I take these damn iron supplements for about 2 months just to play their game and just to say that I've done it, mainly. And just so they can't turn around and be like, well, it's anemia. And shocker, after 2 months of taking these iron supplements and these medical grade iron anemia stuff, shock horror, I know, we're all absolutely gasping in shock right now. Shock horror, my symptoms are still here. Of course they are, because it's not anemia. And even if I had an iron deficiency, which we later found out I didn't even have an iron deficiency, my iron levels were normal. So yeah, even if I did have anemia, they would not be showing these symptoms. And I've spoken to a doctor about this because I was on these iron supplements. I knew they wouldn't do anything for the symptoms that I was experiencing. Shocker, they did not relieve the symptoms. So I thought, you know what? I'm gonna book a doctor's appointment again. So I phoned the doctor and I was like, hey, I need an appointment. And they go, oh, next appointment is in a month. Good luck. I'm sorry, what? So I basically, like, stay on the phone for a bit, and I was like, no, I need an appointment in, like now. I need an appointment yesterday, because my life is hell right now. So she said, tell you what, phone up first thing tomorrow, and we'll try and get you in tomorrow. I was like, okay. So I had to phone up first thing that morning, and miraculously, they got me in. So I didn't have to wait a month at all. I go in. I see another new doctor. Honestly, I've seen about 4 different doctors for this whole thing over the past 3 years, and it is a bit exhausting. I walk in, she's like, right, what are your symptoms? I was like, Jesus Christ, here we go. She looks at my medical records and she goes, why are you on iron tablets? What? I said, because the other doctor said that the reason I was cramping and the reason that everything was happening is because I had an iron deficiency. You want to know what she did? This is a professional doctor. She laughed. She laughed at the audacity at the other doctor. And she laughed and she went, no. I know! I know! I tried to tell her that. I tried to tell the other doctor that. And she didn't listen to me. I'm going to use my Art Value press powder. This is the Little Bear Rider Soft Focus Powder. That is the name of this. A little bit of a mouthful, but that's okay. I've been loving pressed powders recently, so I'm going to use this to set my face. I'm going to start popping that under the eyes. I have just left them for a little bit longer than I usually do, so hopefully I'm not setting a bunch of creasing right now. So yeah, this doctor laughs at the stupid decisions from my other doctor, tells me that my bloods actually came back normal and fine. I'm not even got an iron deficiency, so I don't know what the hell that other doctor was talking about. And then she goes, oh my god, right. Then she goes, sit down. When's the last time you did an STI test? Like 2 weeks ago, love. Like, not even that long ago. And then she starts saying, like, are you in a relationship? Are you, like, practicing safe sex? Are you this, that, and the other? I'm like, oh my god. I've been through this so many times. Okay? So many times. The only person I've done the deed with in the past 4 or 5 months is a guy that we use protection with. And I did a test not even that long ago. Like, I've not done anything with anyone since my last test. And so she makes me do another test. That does not matter at all. She makes me do another test. So I'm going to do another test. Woo, let's go. I said to her, like, it will come back fine. It will literally come back with nothing wrong, because I'm telling you now, I'm fine. I'm fine, please believe me. So I do this test in the doctor's office, and then she turns around and she goes, tell you what, I'll book you in for a scan. And alarm bells are alarm belling right now. I said, is this an ultrasound scan that you're booking me in for? And she goes, yeah. And I went, no. No. I said, I've had one literally a few months ago. I said, I had one a few months ago. It came up with absolutely nothing wrong. Do not book me in for another ultrasound scan. I had both of the scans before anyone comments and says there are 2 types of ultrasounds. I had both of them done at that first appointment. So don't. I had both types and they both came back absolutely fine. So no. I'm not going to be waiting another 6 weeks for an ultrasound appointment to come to me, to then go to the ultrasound appointment, to have the exact same results, it's absolutely fine, to then come back to the doctor's office to be told that the test is fine. That's like 2 months of my life wasted. I'm not doing it. I am going to use, I think, the Troublemaker Rascal bronzer, because I've not used it in a while and I really, really like it. So I'm going to use it again today. And you know what I've noticed? The more that I use these products, the easier they are to open. Praise Jesus, hallelujah. The clasps of these products are indestructible. Like, they don't want you to open the product. But the more I use them, the more the clasp is wearing down. So, I mean, that's good. The kick up in this is kind of crazy, though. I feel quite pale. I think I used a bit too much of that Mitchell foundation, because it's definitely the Mitchell foundation that makes my skin look dry as well. So it's definitely that. It's definitely that. I say, nuh-uh. Nuh-uh, girl. Nuh-uh. I'm not having another ultrasound scan. I'm not doing it. No. I put my foot down. I said, you know what? I'll do the STI test because it's an STI test. It'll come back in 2 days. I'm not waiting 6 weeks for an ultrasound. I said, if it'll make you happy, I will prove to you that I have not had any action in a while, okay? I will prove to you that nothing is going on in that department, okay? I will prove this. I will do the test right now for you, and in 2 days it'll come back absolutely fine. But I am not going in for another ultrasound scan. And she was like, oh, okay. So she looked at my records and she scrolled down my medical records and she said, oh, the first time you came in for like these kind of issues was 3 years ago. And I was like, yeah, I know. And I keep coming back. And she goes, that's pretty concerning. I was like, yeah, I know. It's pretty concerning. That's why I'm back again. And she goes, you know what? And these words, I've been waiting to hear these words for years and years and years. She goes, you know what? I think we've exhausted what we can do at the GP surgery for you. So I think I'm going to refer you to a gynecologist. Yeah! Praise Jesus. Hallelujah. Yes. Thank you. That is what I need. I need a gynecologist. Please refer me to a gynecologist. I've wanted this from day one. Like, if you'd have just said, we actually can't do anything about this, I'm going to refer you to a gyno. In even year one, it would be absolutely fine. It would be fine. Year one, I'll take year one. I'd have been a bit miffed, but it's better than year 3. You know what's crazy, though? The guy that I'm speaking to right now has a 3-year-old daughter. I have been fighting this diagnosis for as long as that child has been alive. Let that sink in. What? What the hell? I am so sick and tired of this. An iron deficiency that I didn't even have. Honestly, I know the NHS is under strain right now, but can we not? Can we not be doing that? I'm going to go a little bit bougie with blush today, actually. I think I'm going to go with MAC Peaches. I think it'll kind of go with this look. I was a little bit unsure of what blush to use with this look because, I mean, it's a kind of weird colour combo to find a blush for, but I'm pretty happy with this selection. So, hey, it's a very neutral colour, so I'm sure it'll go with pretty much anything. So yeah, after 3 years, I've been finally referred to a gynecologist. I did phone up this morning because all of this happened on the 10th of October. I'm filming this on the 27th of October. So, like, it's been 17 days and I've not heard anything, which isn't unusual for the NHS. Normally it takes, like, a good few weeks for your referral to come through. So I did phone the doctors today and I just said, look, has it actually gone through? Has this referral actually gone through? Is it happening? And she said, yep, you will get the letter in the mail at some point. It is 100% gone through. I can see on your record. You're good. Don't worry about it. Don't panic. So I've definitely got there. I'm just so sick to death of this constant fighting, constant battle to be helped, you know? Like, I could have told you I'm not a medical expert. I could have told you that this was not an iron deficiency. Even if I did have an iron deficiency, which apparently I didn't even have one, but even if I did have one, this whole situation is not anything to do with that. I'm going to use my Revolution Highlight Reloaded. This was pulled in my everyday makeup drawer recently, and I have used it once, I think, in the past month, but I want to use it again because why not? So I'm still unexpectedly bleeding. I started bleeding today. I've literally just come off a period about, what, less than a week ago? And I've started again today, which is great. So who knows how long this will go on for? I don't know. It could last a day. It could last 4 months. My longest, I think, is 3.5 months of bleeding, which I know is not the worst. There are people with endometriosis that have it like a year of bleeding, which I'm so thankful that I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. So we will see. I know that some people might get a little bit annoyed because I've not got an official endometriosis diagnosis. So I don't want to seem insensitive in this video to be like, I've definitely got endometriosis, but like I'm almost positive I have endometriosis or something similar. So I don't want to offend anyone in this video, but I wouldn't be saying it if I wasn't like 99% sure. And maybe through this video some people can give me some advice, or maybe through this video some people, if you do have endometriosis, maybe tell me if this is your experience, if this is not your experience, if like what is going on. I have been referred to a gyno though. I know that the only way to 100% diagnose endometriosis is keyhole surgery, which I'm really, really scared about because I have really severe body dysmorphia. And so, like, having scars, I know they're only tiny, but, like, having scars on my stomach area, like, my body dysmorphia is, like, my stomach. Like, it's just my stomach. I don't care about anything else. It is literally just my stomach. So having scars on my stomach is really quite scary to me because I just think that that's going to send me into a spiral of hating myself again, and I don't really want to go there. I know it will be for like a good cause, and it will be, you know, if I figure this out, I won't feel nauseous every day, and I will hopefully get the medication that I need, and hopefully I'll be able to, you know, live a little bit more normally. But it is just really scary to me to have that surgery because of everything that goes on in my head. It's quite a lot to process. I don't know what's going to happen at the gyno. I don't know if it's going to be another 3 years of trying different things and fighting and begging to be taken seriously. I don't know what's going to happen at the gyno. I hope that because they are more like specialized professionals, that it's going to be a little bit easier to work with them. I really hope so, because I don't think I can handle another 3 years of this absolute nonsense. I'm going to use this sparkly blue shade. I'm going to pop this on the lower lash line. This look hasn't come out as well as I kind of wanted it to. It's kind of a bit all over the place. It looked a little bit better in my head. Maybe it's just my skills. I don't know. Gotta make a decision on if I want to keep this palette or not, because the whole reason it was in my No Pan Left Behind is because I do have a declutter series coming up in December, and I want to get to know my collection a little bit more. Like, do I want to keep these things? Do I not want to keep these things? And I'm kind of leaning on keeping it just because it's my only eyeshadow palette from Mitchell and for like content purposes. However, if I wasn't a content creator, I don't think I'd be keeping it. I don't know, it's just a bit of a weird one, I think. I think my favourite eyeliner is gonna finish this look off so well. This is from Essence. It's the Superman eyeliner. It's like the only thing from the Superman collection that I actually like. And it's in the shade 01, I'm Falling For You. If this is still available, run and buy this because it is absolutely phenomenal. It's like a blue to purple duochrome eyeliner, and it is the most creamy and pigmented thing I have in my collection. And for this to be like, what, a few quid from Essence, fab. If you've been through this and you've had a diagnosis, or you're close to having a diagnosis, or whatever it may be, I would really appreciate your advice in the comments, because I really don't know what is going on. I'm so sick to death of this situation. I'm worn out, and the fact that I think I'm really angry that the fact that like my horrendous cramping has been brushed off as an iron deficiency for a while. It's insulting to me. Like, it's insulting. It's not an iron deficiency. There is something seriously wrong. And for that other doctor to have laughed, like, I'm not mad that the other doctor laughed in a way that's like, why are you laughing? That's unprofessional. Like, I'm mad that it's so ridiculous what that other doctor did that this other doctor like laughed, because it's stupid, and I knew it was stupid. And I tried to tell her that it was stupid, but no, she did not listen. I had to suffer for another, few months because why? Okay, I just finished off. My look is a little bit more what I was envisioning now that I have my lashes on. I always feel like when I put lashes on, the whole look just kind of comes together a little bit more. And so, ooh, yeah, no, I'm feeling this a little bit more now. It was a bit of a trust the process. I'm kind of known for trust the process looks here. A lot of people always comment and be like, I wasn't sure about this look, Caitlin, but at the end, it looked really good. So hopefully you guys like this. I actually quite like how the glitter is more red. I don't know, it's just contrasty a little bit, which is nice. Hey, here we go. I got another use out of one of my Pastel Roses glitters. Amazing. We've only got 50 million left to go. So if you have endometriosis, or if you have anything like that, or if you have never heard of it before, maybe this video has given you a little bit of an eye-opening as to what people go through. Apparently it's like 1 in 8 women, which is absolutely mad. There was a study, I had to mention this, there was a study done about the attractiveness of women with endometriosis. So instead of like studying how to actually cure it or how to fix it or how to help it, there was a study obviously done by men who studied the attractiveness of people suffering every day with endometriosis. Okay. And I think there's more studies done on male baldness than endometriosis, which like 1 in 8 women suffer from. So, you know what? We love that. I don't know if I'm gonna have to do keyhole surgery. I really, really hope not, because like I said, like, I don't know, I feel stupid saying this, but like my body dysmorphia is really, really bad. And if I had scars and if I had things like that, like I just know I would be sent into a bit of a spiral. And I don't want to sound vain and I don't want to sound like that, but it is something that I have been struggling with throughout my whole adult life. And it is something that I silently suffer with all the time. And so I don't want to make that worse. I don't know. I'm sure I'll update you guys, but I'm so tired of this right now. I just want it to end. I just want an answer. It's been 3 years and I'm still battling it. So I'm really hoping that the gyno can help me because I need it. But this is it. It was a little bit more of a personal one. I know that this probably isn't going to be everyone's cup of tea. But like I said at the start of the video, and I do stand by this, if women talking about their health conditions triggers you, maybe just reflect a little bit, because this is why no studies have been done on women's health, and the kind of taboo-ness about talking about periods and things like that, it needs to be broken, because this is why no one does anything about it, because it's taboo and no one talks about it. And I always think, like, back in, like, the 80s, like, not even that long ago, back in the 80s or the 70s or the 60s, how many women were suffering with this but couldn't speak about it because it was taboo, and because it was like, no, don't talk about periods, don't talk about this, that, and the other. It needs to be spoken about. Like, I wish that endometriosis had as much funding as, like, erectile dysfunction. You know, they're both taboo subjects, but that gets so much more funding. I don't know, I'm just going on a rant now, but it hurts. It hurts, it's painful, it drives me insane, and if you are suffering with this, you are not on your own. Trust me, there are so many people suffering with this in silence, and it's a nightmare. It is a nightmare. So all the love in the world to you guys. I hope you did enjoy this video. That sounds a bit weird to say, but I hope you did enjoy it in some capacity. And I will see you tomorrow for a brand new video. Bye-bye.